Alright, guys. We got Gumiho in the top left side of the map. It is going to be Wardy Mondays number 10. That's right, guys. Replacing the ESL Korean Weekly. And because this is part of the OSC Cup, it's still played on the previous patch. So I've been really enjoying casting these games because these are played, you know, very recently in the midst of players playing a lot of tournaments on the PTR. We've got games here with players like Trap, who's recently been back in very nice form, playing out, and we get to see this comparison. Old patch, new patch. New maps, old maps. And so I've really loved bouncing back and forth between these two and seeing the contrast. And for me, the big thing that always strikes me is like, there's so many moments where I kind of go, already, I'm like, oh my God, missing energy recharge sucks. Like, I actually can't play Protoss on the current balance patch myself without getting frustrated, because I'm like, number one, I just prefer the new maps. They're so much fresher. But number two, I'm like, where's my energy recharge? Like, it feels so wrong to not have energy recharge already. Now, I've been really focusing on Protoss because I think this energy recharge for me just revamps the openings. I never really meshed with battery overcharge with my style. So I'm actually kind of maining Protoss for probably the next few months. I'm going to start playing it in tournaments every week. I got my first week's tournament was our own tournament that we partially sponsored, the Pigstarcraft Weekly, and I got destroyed by Geralt in a PvP. He did try to play Terran one game, and we Phoenix Zealot spammed him to death, which was fun, and then he destroyed me in PvP the next two maps. But I don't know, one game, I managed to play a decent macro game, so it was all right, but it's so fascinating. Like, the PvP is so spammy on the stasis traps right now. That's really hard to deal with when you're playing a proper pro. PvT, obviously, the hallucination scouts, also stasis trap spam, both really big. But when we go back to the old patch, this is going to be all about the battery overcharge, bit more of that old school play. And I don't know, I'd like to see Trap mix in some storm drops. I think that's a style we haven't seen as much recently on the old patch, but I think even without the energy ability, I think storm drop charge is a good style. That being said, you're playing Gumiho. Gumiho is the brains, right? If Byun and Clem are the brawn, Gumiho is the brains. He is the man who thinks hard, comes up with clever builds, and I would say classically, I don't know what his win record is versus Trap. Versus Hero, he has a terrible win rate because he always gets a bit of an edge versus Hero at some point. But Gumiho, because he does kind of crazy aggression and these very oddball builds, he always leaves himself open at some timing where you would never expect Protoss to hit you, and then Hero always hits him at that timing and he just dies. So, like, it's kind of funny how Gumiho counters a Protoss player who plays standard, but Hero just always beats him because he's always attacking when a Protoss kind of shouldn't be attacking, and that happens to be when Gumiho's guard is down. Trap, a bit more of a standard player, a bit more logical, very efficient, can hit timing attacks, he can micro well, macro well. He is kind of the whole package Protoss, right? He was the guy where if it wasn't for Serral, 2019, 2020, Trap probably would have won quite a few more finals, or 2021 as well, right? Definitely during that COVID sort of period, he was up in the top of those finals, many long matches with Serral, always taking maps, never quite taking him down, and you know, Serral's done that, right? Serral ruined Stats' career, you could argue. Blocked him from multiple world championships and international events like GSL versus the World Finals. Did the same thing to Trap a few years later, and that's just the joy of hitting your peak as a player when there is a once-in-a-generation type player like Serral who's also at their peak. You kind of just go, oh, cool. If I hit this peak a few years earlier, I could win a bunch of championships, but instead I get a bunch of second places. Oh, the joys of competing with Serral. Oh, it's so fun. I think about that with Raynor sometimes as well. I don't know if you guys ever think about this. Oh, this is the spammy Cyclone does come out. Nice Cyclone pressure for Gumiho. But yeah, like Raynor has a lot of money and multiple world championships. Or, well, one world championship and 2 runners-up. But if it wasn't for Serral, I feel like Raynor would have so much money in his belt. It's crazy. He's one of the guys who's beaten Serral more than just about anybody else. But anyway, guys, this is just a light pressure. This is not a serious attack. He's going Raven tank behind it. Very standard follow-up. Second and third barracks as well. Gumiho's playing really straight up now. This is a blink into third base. 2-gate blink robo into third. And I kind of like this low ground drop. Just cancel the pylon here. Then just run away because you know Blink's about to finish. You can see here, Blink's going to finish about 4 minutes 40, and he should know that that's always possible. Ooh, pylon kill, maybe worth it. Maybe a bit too risky, though. Stalker's going to move across the map. Looks like he's not leaving anything at home. Okay, he's going to leave 3 Stalkers at home, which can be ready for this medevac if it comes in. Now, Raven comes out. We'll see the Raven starport swap away. Because Gumiho knows about the third base, he shouldn't really be building too many tanks. I think 2 siege tanks is more than enough. Because, yeah, Like, you need something to outrange the Stalkers, but how much really? If you know there's only 2 gates of Blink Stalkers, and you've got a drop forcing Stalkers to stay at home, it's a very light Stalker pressure. It's not something to be worried about, and this allows the 2nd and 3rd barracks to swap over, start stim, start combat shields, and work your way into that stim bio medevac portion of the game. Okay, tank's nicely positioned. I like this. The observer sees everything, so Trap's kind of like... Do you think he dives on the tank? I'd do it. Yeah, dive on the tank. Get inside the minimum firing range. He's going to take it down in 3 volleys. Oh, that's actually big, but another tank is in range, gets a shot off. Gets 2, 3 SCVs. He's going to blink away. Should be able to get out of here in a moment. He's got to wait 4 seconds for that blink to come off cooldown. Those Marines going to take out 2 Stalkers, but well worth it for a tank and the like. Same time, Raven came in, killed 4 probes with auto turret harass. The drop did chill down over there. I think that still favors the guy who gets the tank kill. 6 SCVs, a tank. Having a 3rd base up means you can recover from economic damage really well. Oh, big mistake for Gumiho. Moves his medevac in, gets blinked on, and gets that one shot down. And that really removes his presence on this Pro-Source side of the map. Now he's going to go for an auto turret and then hide the Raven in the back, which is nice. Gets himself another probe. A little bit of mining time as well. Good pullbacks by Trap. Nice attention to detail. Oh, he went back a bit too early. Does lose the 2nd probe. I was like, nice attention to detail. A lot of people pull, but they leave the guys on gas going back and forth, and they just die anyway. Nonetheless, Trap has complete control now. Yeah, big kind of rule that you've got to watch out for there is that auto turret harass is good, but you cannot be risky once Blinker's out with those drops, and you've got to be so careful. And I think that Observer getting in and seeing everything. Now another Observer. Oh, Trap, yeah, he can commit in. Just dive on the Marauder, go for it. He's like, hello, goodbye. Takes out the Marauder, takes out the Marine. This is massive. Gumiho doesn't have anything here. These Stalkers can commit. If you've got enough to defend at home, which he doesn't right now, he's chronoing Storm. Oh, he gets a medevac. Oh my gosh. Okay, he's going to recall. He's going to recall here to that 3rd base. Storm, 20 seconds away. He needs time. Stalkers are going to go out. He's got 2 batteries. Remember, he's got battery overcharge. Nothing on his natural, though. He has to blink back. Good blink backs for now. Battery overcharge could come down. High Templar are in the open. Still a few seconds away. Zealots getting on top. A little bit of tank-friendly fire from the tank, but not too much. And those High Templar, they're looking for the Storm. They're not quite able to get it. The tank does go down. The bio's inside. Gumiho here finds an opening. And remember, guys, when you're a Terran player, where there's a hole, there's also a goal. That's something. Words to live by, words to die by, says Gumiho, and indeed, it did. I mean, he lived by it. He killed 13 probes, depowered most of the production. But oh my lord. Then the Storms come in when he's in the pocket. All that bio dies. Gumiho finds himself up on workers, floating a 3rd out. Can he defend the counterattack is the question, right? Because even army supply, Storm, Stalkers, all this stuff. If only he could fill up one of those High Templar with energy. Of course he can't, because we are watching the pre-balance patch, the live version of the game, as this is part of the OSC Oceanic StarCraft Championship. Auto turret does take down 2 probes, gets a bit of damage there. Widow mines and bios spreading across the front. Trap knows this is a moment where if he can find some damage, it could really help him out. He's got an observer on that left side, so he does get rid of one of those. Good blink back micro, and he takes a 4th base. He's not going all in. Forge starts +1. Raven is still alive, by the way. Actually escapes. Oh, that's such a good move. He can bring that Raven back and snipe observers with it. That's actually huge. I love this. So many players just throw that Raven away, but he's killed 22 probes in total. Oh my gosh, Gumiho! Gumiho! Not normally one to click with his important thing, but Gumiho! What was that, mate? What the... Jeez. I just watched a man stick his important thing in a fox trap to see what would happen. That was, yeah. Oh man, this was like the, you guys know the scary movie scene in the cubicle. Actually, it was actually in Scream 2, wasn't it? They were making fun of in that. Basically, it's the Scream scene with the knife through the cubicle wall. Oh my, just why? Why did he run forward there? That was so unnecessary. He wasn't in that bad a situation. He was still up in workers, had a 3rd. He really needed to just stabilize, build some ghosts, and he would have been okay. But Trap just shuts him down for moving forward in the middle of the map. I think he just assumed there was only Stalkers. He did not expect the High Templar to be on the map, and he gets punished. All right, guys, Gumiho is going to be going for gas first in game 2 here. I just didn't expect the High Templar to be out on the map, did he? He thought, oh yeah, it's the standard situation. Protoss has a few Stalkers outside your base. Let's blink, push him back, push back his vision. But Trap takes advantage, is like, oh. Because he was thinking about doing a push, and he just realized he couldn't do a push. So he's like, okay, I'll just hang out in the middle of the map for a little bit and start macroing. And Gumiho decided to gift him that game on a little bit of a platter. Now, Gumiho looks like he's going to go for an eBay block. Oh, actually, no, it's too late for that. This is a proxy starport, is it? Surely you're not going... Oh, he's going proxy factory. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to see proxy factory. Heck yeah. All right, guys. Probe comes in, sees it's single gas. Now, if he clicks the gas... I don't think he clicked the gas. He should have. He should realize even from the barracks timing, this is like, go click the gas trap. Red circle. Yeah, red circle. You see the red circle around the gas? Tells us trap just clicked on that gas. So he just checked and he's like, oh, this is a gas first. And he might be able to read into this that there's a proxy factory as well. It is Reaper. If you went Marine, he'd be able to build the factory immediately. Pig, what's your favorite matchup to watch and or cast? It's more about players than it is about matchup. Like, you know, I say like TVT, Kua versus Maru, usually one of the most boring matches. Well, there was a period where they played very boring matches. They've actually been pretty fun recently because Kua can beat Maru. Some would say because Maru's washed or whatever the reason is, but Maru also still makes these epic comebacks. Like, that's actually a very fun TVT. But back when they used to play matches where they just turtle all game, I actually found it very boring, right? I think sometimes if I watch like a Showtime versus Geralt in PvP, I think it's a very boring matchup because they're both so defensive. But if I watch Showtime or Geralt versus a hero, like a very aggressive Protoss player, I love it because you got this like kind of asymmetry and really different matchups. ZVZ can be really boring when it's a Roach Fest. And it can be amazing when it's like Reina versus Dark is some of the funnest ZVZ ever, right? Because they're both very chaotic players, very creative, very aggressive. And you just get this like dynamite, you know, explosive matchup where you're never sure what's going to happen. So for me, it's unpredictability, it's novelty, and of course, Clem vs. Reina is probably the best matchup in all of StarCraft 2. Maybe not as many mind games in that matchup. No, to be fair, Reina actually does a lot of mind games against Clem. Clem doesn't do too many mind games. Clem's just like the problem. Clem is basically a Rubik's Cube that Reina is desperately trying to solve because it's a 16-sided Rubik's Cube rather than the normal 3x3. Cyclone coming out there. Dude, he's gonna find it. Oh no! Oh, starport over half complete and he gets shut down. It's not worth sending another SCV. It's not worth it. No, just cancel it, bro. Back out of it. Oh, I don't think this is worth, man. Gumiho, he's building Cyclones out of this proxy. He's got a command center finished at home. This is huge. This is so good for Trap now. Trap's got the second gateway coming up, the shield battery, the robo. He's going straight for Prism, and I think that's just so he can pick up and get out of trouble if he does end up overcommitting. Speaking of which, I think he's overcommitting right now. The Cyclone Reaper plus the others. So Gumiho's waiting for the other Cyclone to pop. He wants to trap these units. Trap realizes he's overcommitting right now, so he's pulling away. This is really smart for Trap. He's delayed the starport building, and he cancels it. Cyclone comes out. You cannot afford to lose that SCV. It could take one more hit, but not two. Adept does go down. Stalkers are going to come forward and have a bit of a play. This is a crazy move for Trap. Bad move. Bad move for Trap. Thought he could save him in time, but he does overcommit there. And that does end up finishing. If he just came over, dropped a Stalker, killed the SCV, and then recalled, that might have worked out. But as it is, there's an extra Stalker. That being said, he's got such a big warning of what's going on. And Gumiho, he's still building Cyclones, Medevacs, and Marines. Like, the best case scenario for Gumiho is you just get these buildings out of here. But it's kind of a frontal fight right now. Cyclone's fighting Stalkers right now. Extra Cyclone comes out. That one Cyclone on the top goes down. 2 Stalkers being saved so far. He's going to try and save another one. 4 Stalkers get out of there. Units lost tab is actually quite good. You've lost a Cyclone, a Reaper, and SCV. You've killed 2 Stalkers in the depth. So you're not doing too bad. The problem is once that Immortal arrives, you're kind of done for. You need to get into a more standard situation at home, and that's easier said than done. SCVs are not double producing. Trap. Twilight Council's on the way as well. Now, Trap does not have a Twilight. It's just building, right? So no blink, no way to shut things down. He's going to go for a Stalker drop while defending with Immortals and Batteries. You ain't going to get no damage versus that. Well, if you can catch the Worker line undefended, maybe. The Immortal's going to put paid to this, though. Get out of there, Gumiho. Run. He's got nothing at home. These Stalkers might checkmate him. 4 Stalkers and a Prism, guys. Enough to delay his second and third barracks. And oh, just like that, Trap just kills him. Oh, Trap shuts down Gumiho's funny business and gets the win. All right, so Trap there shuts down some funny business. And now he gets the reward of being thrown into the Viper's pit. Because Clem is waiting for him in the round of 8. That's right, we got Clem here. And Clem, man, he's been playing a lot of the PTR, but he is still absolutely switched on and on point. Man's been playing betas of other games as well, trying other things out. He's going to go gas first as well. Ooh, it's kind of fortunate that Trap is playing against gas first 2 games in a row here. So he's definitely going to have that on his radar as he goes into the next round. If we have a lot of quick games, we might just put these all in one video, do like a Trap versus Gumiho, then winner versus Clem. And then maybe there's good matches after this as well, and we can put them all into one video. We'll see how these matches go. But a lot of people told me there was a few bangers across both sides of the bracket, actually, in this tournament, Wardy Mondays number 10. So curious to see what we've got. And I've gone for the let's not spoil myself, and let's just throw a bunch of replays in a folder in order and kind of see what happens. SCV and Probe here having a bit of a fight as the engineering bay block comes down. Now, because he spotted it straight away, he pulls 3 probes. Now, I would usually pull 4 personally, but it looks like 3 is enough. If he tries to build any more, that SCV is 100% dead. Trap's going to trap him in this base, right? As long as you micro the probe, he should never get out with this SCV. You should be able to pull one of these and trap him on the ramp. And he does so. Very nice move. Clem tried to kind of go to the left, not able to do it. Now, there is a Zealot building. I don't think you need a Zealot because, yeah, that engineering bay is going to go down pretty quickly. Starts the second pylon there. And the Nexus gets delayed about 20 seconds, but I think that's definitely a very good start for Trap. And this is the advantage of checking for the engineering bay. If you don't check for the engineering bay, you can end up in big trouble, guys. This is why some people don't like to probe scout in this matchup, because they feel like if they probe scout and send an extra probe early to check for engineering bay, they just find themselves too far behind on the money. So they just prefer to, well, I'm not going to scout you, but I'll just check for the engineering bay block, and that way, you know, I can afford to do it without sacrificing too much income. Now, Clem is going to go for a reactor factory. He's going to swap over here. Command center goes up there as well. Okay, is this just a 3-gate? MaxPax has had some success with this against Clem. I mean, some games it's fallen flat, but he's also had some success with it recently. We're going to chrono the Adept, not the Warp Gate. Interesting. I guess with this version of a proxy 3-gate, you don't actually need to do it, right? So second gate goes there. Third gate will build over here in a moment. I think he queues up maybe a Stalker or another Adept first. He's got 2 Adepts out. Do we build another one? No, third gateway first. And if we want to build another Adept, it'll queue up momentarily. Adept shading in. Gaps in probe production right now. It is a Stalker. So yeah, Trap is going hard on the aggro, guys. And he's building Widow Mines. Not great for Clem. Widow Mines can help defend your ramp. The problem here, the way this is going to time out, Warp Gate's going to finish. 3 Stalkers are going to warp in, and you're going to have just be floating your command center down as a bunch of Stalkers and Adepts could run in and ruin your day. Or they might just run up the ramp and even bust you if you fly out with your Widow Mines. The Widow Mines are at home guarding the ramp. I think you're okay. But if you move out with your medevac and say get it shot down by the Stalkers, this could be game over very, very quickly. Now, on the other hand, if the Marine Mine manages to get damage on the other side, Clem just pulls back to his ramp, defends, only loses a few SCVs. You got to realize the tech is hugely delayed for Trap, right? Yeah, he's back to building probes nonstop. He only took a little break. He built a shield battery. You don't often see people going aggressive 3-gate proxy and doing that. He's going to go for Widow Mine Marine Drop. He's going to try and depower. So he unloads all the Marines. He targets with those 5 Marines, or 6 Marines even, sorry, on the pylon. Oh, that's big. Dude, that's actually a huge catch. Oh, that's great. Really good play by Clem. If I was Clem, I'd probably back out of here, but I think he knows there's no blink. He's got the Widow Mine zoning. He's building a tank right now. He's just going to stay on one base. No need to expose himself to risk. And for a lot of Terran players, you don't scout that much. You might think, oh, why don't Terrans scout at all? A lot of them, even when they don't scout, or even if they do, they'll do these very safe build orders. Oh, the Adept Shade to bait the Widow Mine shot. Slick move there for Trap, but he loses his proxy gate. And the only real advantage he's getting here is I'm mining my natural, you're not, right? You're having to oversaturate for a little bit before you move down. If you could find a good trade, maybe. Marine, oh, the Stalker got trapped in front of the Adepts, dude. So he loses a Stalker and 2 Adepts, and that makes Clem so comfortable. Widow Mine burrows there. He's just going to put the tank on the ramp, use the Marines in the tank to easily guard this base. SCVs will now transfer down, and he can even repair the Widow Mine on the way down there if he wants to. Love to see him pull just one. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh, this is such good defense by Clem, man. This is why Clem is the big boy. That's why he's made of important stuff. Did I just call him... Well, I can't call him the big boy because that's actually Parting's nickname, right? Parting actually already has that nickname down. Clem's nickname was actually the Kid for a while. I think Raynor's still very proud of the fact that he managed to push that nickname to him. We all called like Raynor the Kid, comeback kid. And then Raynor basically just did this thing where he spammed calling Clem the Kid. The kid everyone's talking about. You know the kid. He's the kid. This kid. This kid, this Terran. He said it enough times that we all started kind of calling Clem the Kid a little bit. And I think for Clem, this especially stung because he's like, I'm like 4 months older than you, Raynor. Get out of here. And Raynor's just there with a cheeky grin on his face, happy that he managed to basically sledge the nickname that he didn't like and kind of shift that over onto Clem. He's like, you're the one who just gets called a child now, not me. 1 probe goes down there. Actually, it was 2, I guess. Was that really 2? Maybe 1 died just before. Widow Mine over here is deflected by the Stalkers as well. So Clem's got him pinned on the defense. Dark Shrine didn't get spotted. Clem did lose a game to Dark Templar. I think it was on Amygdala. It was Amygdala or Ley Lines versus Max Packs last week, where he just happened to have dropped mules, right? And the DTs ran in and just ruined him. And with his Raven being on the other side of the map, it really doesn't help against this. So this is actually kind of, this is the most effective Dark Templar timing now, guys. Oh, Widowmine drop almost goes down as well. It's you want to wait till the Raven's behind your base. That's when you want your Dark Templar to hit. He's got 1 scan. 2 scans. As long as he doesn't drop mules. Do not drop mules right now. Do not drop mules. But he doesn't have any units. Even if he doesn't drop mules, he's got nothing to actually kill them. He's going to push on the front. Dark Templar coming in right now. Oh my god, he's got DTs and Stalkers on his main army. DTs in his main, DTs in his natural. Oh! Trap! With an absolute storm of debauchery. A bunch of invisible guys sneak into his dressing room and start just causing a ruckus, hiding his underpants and doing all sorts of foulish endeavors. 13 SCVs go down. The Marauder taking big damage on the front as well. That analogy made no sense. I'll be the first to admit it, guys. What can I say? Dark Templar picking off more Marines. Guys, he's out of scans. Oh, if you can get the tanks, that'd be big. Get the Reddit point tank. Oh, but he saves them. Okay, most people would be dead there. Clem, bad spot. But he's got his 3 tanks alive. If he can siege those, scan this DT, he could be okay. Oh, the Stalkers are going to get the tank as it sieges. Clem does scan, takes out the Dark Templar, but he lost one of the tanks. Cute move for Trap to just dive in there and snipe that. Trap's got a 3rd base on the way. It's finished. 3 more gateways, charge coming in, all of the good stuff. Clem realizes he's up against the wall. He cannot sit back at home defensive. He's going to sneak out a drop. A crazy choice to do right now when he's under the gun, but it's the right choice. Is this his Raven, guys? He managed to get his Raven home. In the midst of all that, so many Terrans would have F2'd. This is the difference between 2021, 2022 Clem and 2024 World Champion Clem. 2024 World Champion Clem gets his Raven out of the enemy base in the middle of handling, DTs in his main, his natural, and Dark Templar Stalker ambushing his army. And look at that, pushes that out with only 3 SCV losses, despite having his Raven out of position. Really nice play here by Clem. No recall energy in the main base. Dude! Clem fighting back right now. This is what we love to see. Quickly stutters away from his own Widowmine shot. Does get back to the mineral line. Zealots going down. Massive damage. I mean, this is what gave Hero, who played the best world championship we've ever seen. Hero played the best tournament of his life there. And this is what would happen in those games. Hero would put him on the defensive, and Clem would refuse to accept that position. But Clem gets a bit too excited. The Stalkers come back, and they do shut down the drops. He should have pulled back to the corner. He went a bit too YOLO. The Trap comes back. Yes, he loses 9 probes. Yeah, he uses his shield battery. A bit of gas mining. Shutting down the drops is worth it. Remember, he is 3 base against 2, and not only that, he's poised to take a 4th base. Really nice play, but Prism with the Dark Templar inside dies to the Viking. Clem not being lazy. Too many players ignore that Prism. He knew it was there, and he shuts it down. We've got a 3rd command center only just starting, though. Oh my god, it only just started? Dude, losing the double drop's a disaster. If he had the double drop joining up with this army, he might be able to kill Trap. Because Trap's stuck with no splash damage. Just Arc on Immortal Sentry. I know some of you are going to go Archons do splash damage big. Guys, I'm talking about splash damage that actually lands. Last time you saw an Archon land to hit on a Marauder was 6 years ago. Let's be honest. Archons tank against Bio. They very rarely land effective splash damage hits. Unlike a Colossus, a Storm, or a Disruptor, things that are a bit more reliable. This is not a great long-term army, but this is also not a great push. If there was still 2 Bio, squads with 2 medevacs joining this, I think the army supply advantage might be there for Clem. Maybe he could deny the 4th. But if he can't deny the 4th, I mean, this 3rd base is just way too late. And we've got to look at this on the units lost tab and say, like, yeah, man, Trap's traded pretty darn well. Dark Templar does go in and get itself taken out. Force fields could be brutal, as could just the overwhelming Zealot charge. If these Zealots flank this army, it's a problem for Clem. Trap's kind of playing a bit scared right now. I think because he didn't see the 3rd command center for a long time. Giving up position here might be a mistake, though. Trap, got to be careful. He's engaging a little sloppy here. Widowmine shot's decent. Takes out 4 Zealots. Next Widowmine shots are landing really well. The last Widowmine not that big, but nonetheless, the tanks get wrecked by the Zealot Immortal. The Stalker's blinking forward. The Raven's very low. Trap doing Clem doing a really good job of microing back against Clem's army and getting value, but he's so low on hit points. Oh, every time you blink forward, it's so punishing because you lose a few Stalkers, but Marauders for Stalkers, something that I guess Trap's happy to trade for right now. The Zealots coming in. Another Widowmine goes off. The Raven dropping Auto Turret. This fighting retreat for Clem. His micro is insane. His ability to just fight backwards like this is frustrating to play against. Trap is just like, come on, man, die. I've got a much better situation than you, but you killed an unreasonable amount of units. That should have been pretty much game over with the numbers advantage, but it wasn't. And now Clem, if he can hold this next wave, he might be back in the game. It's tough, though. It's a 4-base Protoss, 69 workers. Trap is going to keep on with the aggression. He knows he's got Clem in a very, very inferior position. Clem, though, is up 14 army supply, but Force Fields, Immortals, and Archons doing well. No Guardian Shield left here. More Stalker Zealots and Sentries are warping in. Zealots in the mineral line trying to go after those Marauders. Widow Mines taking out the Zealots. The Archons coming forward. I said they don't land splash damage, but when they force field your units and trap them in the worker line, it turns out the Archon can do big splash damage, and against SCVs, they do even more. Immortal, Stalker, Zealot doing very well here. The Sentries have fallen. It's just a few Stalkers and Immortals, but Clem is down to his last legs. He's got so few units. His command center is almost gone, and the Warp Prism, it does get taken down by the Marines, but at what cost? Clem has no units yet left. 69 workers. That there is the power of memes. It's the power of Protoss. And Trap, I love this mixture of aggression and defense. When it comes to a player who is balanced as a player, Trap truly is it. Right? We've been looking at a PvP scene or a Protoss scene where it's been Max Pax and Hero as the two leaders. And you look at Trap, and it's kind of nice because, yes, Max Pax is kind of more balanced, I would say, than Hero. Hero just YOLOs. But Trap gives us another top Protoss player who's also very balanced. He can attack, he can defend, he can kind of methodically push you while macroing behind it. It really feels like Trap is just a very well balanced player. And he also, I think, has better late game than Max Pax. You guys might disagree with that. I feel like early late game, maybe Max Pax just wins with raw multitasking superpowers. And he usually doesn't need to go to late game because of that. But I do think in late game, Trap is one of the best players. Like, he's got so much experience with Tempest, Storm, Mothership Carrier, all the different, recall tactics and that sort of stuff. We'd love to see Trap in this position. Up on 4 bases with a 5th coming in. The supply is ridiculously close. I don't even know how. Can you guys explain this to me? I mean, I guess Clem's, he doesn't have double upgrades, right? Like if we look at this, he doesn't have an armory. He's stuck on 1-1. He's just now starting 2nd Engineering Bay and Armory, whereas 2-2 is going to be finished. So there's going to be a massive double upgrade timing advantage. Trap's going to be 5 base first 3. The Widow Mine drop goes down. Trap's so ready for it. How did he even know that was coming? Guys, how did he spot that coming across the map or something? How did he react so quickly? Is this just one of those moments where he just happened to be glancing at it as it entered his vision? He's like, oh, maybe he saw it earlier on the map or something like that. That was so quick. Don't expect people to catch Widow Mine drops at that stage of the game. Blink DT coming in. Vikings being built for Clem. Clem needs some perfect engagements. He can't afford to get shaved any numbers off. If he loses even a few units for free, he's in trouble. Ghosts are up front. Ghosts are in front. They need to drop their EMPs. One Ghost went down before he EMP'd right there. He does still have those EMPs loaded in the chamber, ready to go. A couple of them do land. Misses the Archon, though. Missed the Archon. Mostly just landed in a few Zealots. He's got another EMP available. Another one in the middle of that army could be effective. But remember, Trap might disengage, so you don't want to throw your EMP too early. Oh my god, the Colossus moves forward and takes a Widow Mine to the chin. Thankfully, it is not a Glassjaw Colossus. It does manage to handle it okay. Ghosts are on the high ground along with some Vikings up there. Clem's positioning is amazing, but dude, those Marines are just too fragile. He's too Marine heavy. He can't deal with the Colossus right now. He needs the Marines behind the Marauders, but he's trying to micro from 2 sides at once. SCVs are trying to repair each other. They're trying to repair the command center. Clem right now with an impossible situation. He's showing us World Championship micro. Even that's not enough. Not when you're this outnumbered. Not when you're this outgunned. Traps in the natural as well. And Clem has to tap out. Trap's on a roll right now. Takes game 1. All right, well, that one turned away from him, but now finding himself on Ghost River, Clem on the right side of the map, and Trap over on the left. Not going to bother trying to wall off any Reaper path. This is interesting placement. You could kind of wall off here if, like, Hellions are trying to run in or something, and it does mean if the Bio tries to stem up your ramp later, it can kind of obstruct them a little bit, so sometimes having a bit of a semi-wall in your ramp can help. Of course, walling down here, it's okay. I think you can wall off with a few buildings and then have the 3rd base in front. But for now, just checking for proxies. Trap not wanting to let Clem get any sort of momentum, right? If Clem happened to proxy down there, he'd be very unhappy. It'd be a very nice opening start for Trap. But as it is, Clem playing a bit more standard here. Barracks expansion. Does Parting still play? If anyone's heard from Parting, you guys let me know. I really tried to encourage Parting to start streaming on YouTube every day, as well as keep streaming on Twitch, even if he can't make money there, find a loophole or whatever to stream on Twitch as a Korean person. It's a shame because he has a big stream. I know he's playing Battle Aces and he was playing Stormgate and stuff. I don't know what he's up to. I think Parting kind of has this mindset of he wants to be the world champion at the next big RTS, I think. But I haven't really been chatting to him, so you guys would need to ask someone who's a bit closer with him in that regard. Because, like, yeah, I think for him, he was kind of like, oh, Stormgate's going to be the big thing. And then he's like, oh, doesn't seem like it will for a long time. Or maybe never. So, okay. And I keep expecting him to hop back in and like play some StarCraft and stream some StarCraft. But I think for Parting, he's such a competitor. He doesn't want to play StarCraft because he's like, well, unless I'm committing 100%, no. Like, he doesn't like half-assing a game. He's too competitive. Even though it's such a lucrative career for him to just play StarCraft and shout at the screen and be the funny guy that he is, I don't think he really has the passion to be an entertainer. I think he just wants to compete. And yeah, he'll do a bit of streaming as well if he's competing, but it's got to be that one game that he's in love with and that he's like destroying. So I think that's kind of his mindset. That'd be my theory, Craft, if you guys will have to ask him anyway. Got a command center there as well. Marines building. Factory has almost finished. Depth comes in against the 3 Marines. Does get a few hits off those Marines. Nice play. Twilight Council comes in behind here for Trap. Now, on this small map, Ghost River, I'm always worried about frontal pushes, just getting across the map a bit fast. You don't have a lot of room to wear away on the terrain with Blink Stalkers, especially since there's this ramp here, so they get further outside of their base before you can even start hitting them, usually. The Empire of the Ants is going to be the next big RTS. Dude, wouldn't it be funny if Parting, we, like, realize he's rank 1 on the ladder of Empire of the Ants? We're like, really? This is what you're spending your time doing? Like, I was playing Empire of the Ants last night off stream. I have so much fun. I don't know why I enjoy that game so much. It's just novel. It's just the novelty. Like, I'm probably only going to play it for like 20 hours and then not play it anymore. Like, finish the campaign, played a few multiplayer games. But it's just a fun, novel game, right? It's very much not a competitive RTS, I would imagine. You know, you don't have a top-down view. You're running around as an ant telling things what to happen. It's very fun. Like, I actually really enjoy the novelty of it, but the thought of a world champion StarCraft player deciding to go all in on Empire of the Ants is just hilarious. Like, he's like, this is it. This will be the next big thing, man. Depth does go down there. Here comes the Cyclone Medevac Marine pressure, guys. Battery's on the way. That's going to help him out. Stalkers will save that Adept. Oh, Clem goes a little deep there. He's going to take a lot of hits. Cyclone already almost dead. That's huge. I'd be tempted to get a few more hits off here with the Stalker, but you got to be wary because he's trying to boost on top. Yeah, Clem wants to trap you. He wanted to get that Adept. He's not going to get it. Battery's right there. Battery healing comes in. Perfectly timed battery healing. Nice. This is 3-gate, right? Yeah, 3-gate Blink Robo. 3rd gas comes down. Non-stop probe production. 2 more pylons about to finish. Beautiful plays here for Trap. As Clem rotates, goes for an 8 Marine drop on the left side. This is a medevac that could be killed with, I think, like 4? I think 4 Stalker shots can take down a 65 hit point medevac. Second barracks builds. He's got a nice 4-gate Blink wall coming up, does Clem. He's been really very, very kind of astute at not giving, you know, at studying how to shut down the 4-gate Blink before it gets going. But right now it's the natural that's the issue. 1 Stalker does go down. Dep does take a tank shot as well, but it's not armored, so it doesn't take the full damage. 3 Stalkers here, and a 3rd base starts at 5 minutes. Trap's in control of this game. Marines coming forward. Medevac's going to go down. Marines trying to focus the Nexus. Oh, he's going to get it. Yeah, he does get it. I mean, is it worth it? I mean, he's going to lose that. Once the Medevac's gone, you're kind of committed. It does delay the 3rd base, guys. Obviously, it's quite a lot of Marines to lose. You know, 7-8 Marines and a Medevac, but hey, gets the Nexus cancelled at least. Does delay that. There's something he's getting there. Kind of funny. It does feel like Clem is not quite as scary in this situation, right? And I think it's just that first Cyclone took too much damage on the map. Otherwise, he could have hung out here and denied the 3rd for a little longer, but I guess once Blink's done, you don't want to stay around too long. Raven Cyclone does take down that medevac. We've got that Robobay now finishing up. Is it 4 gas? Yeah, 4 gas. First Colossus starts. Extended Thermal Lance, of course, to give him that extra reach. And no doubt we'll be seeing a Sentry, maybe 5 more gateways go down as well. Yeah. 3 gateways up to 6 here to start. And the Raven goes for the counterattack. Now, there is an Observer on the left. It's just being very cautious with the Observer is Trap. And this is what you got to do, right? Oh, and look at this. Trap's hoping to catch the Raven. He doesn't know where it is, but he's like, I bet that Raven or something's going to sneak across the top. Luckily for Clem, he did not go along the top. Otherwise, he'd be losing that Raven for free. Observer over here sees the third command center timing. Trap's being really good at poking in for scouting. Raven goes past, and it looks like he did notice it. He recalls Stalkers in the main. If you try to bypass this, those Stalkers are going to wait till you get deep. They're going to blink on you, and they'll two-shot that Raven. Trap is just waiting for it now. I kind of want to watch this from Trap's vision. Like, look at his awareness. Look at his minimap. He's got those Stalkers over here waiting. He keeps kind of glancing at them. He's got a Forge finishing. 61 probes into a 4th base. Sees a medevac move out, and he knew immediately that meant the rest of the army's moving out as well. He shades. He's going to let it finish because the army's on top of him anyway, but Stim does clean him up. He's still watching those Stalkers on the left side. If that Raven flies in here and he can snap it and bring these Stalkers back to the front, he'll be happy. The Raven just left his vision. It went south. Raven just scouted his 4th base. He saw it, but he's still got the Stalkers waiting. It's coming in. It's coming in. Now's his moment. Now's his moment. But he's distracted. He's distracted. He's too worried about the front, but he gets it. He gets it. Oh, the Raven barely survives there, but it's down to 8 hit points. And Clem's just going to have to hold position that in the dead space. Nice move there for Trap. Let's go back to everyone's camera. 3rd command center is coming out right now for Clem. He's on 5 barracks. That's right, guys. 4th and 5th barracks building tech lab and reactor up there. His +1 attack's finished. He hasn't started +1 armor. And here we go, an ambush coming in. Trap's got force fields. You got to be careful of those force fields, but he does blast one of the sentries with the tank shots. Raven, it's got a lot of energy. If you could drop auto turrets, it will help out a lot, but notice there's a single Stalker here, single Stalker there. That's all you need. Very smart handling by Trap to shut this down. 2 tanks, Marauders, and Widow Mines are here as well. Let's go. Let's go. Marauders, tanks, mines coming forward. Zealots moving over there as well. Ooh, Widow Mines do get some big shots off on those Marauders as well. Marines and Marauders trying to hang out. The tanks hanging. Here we go. Colossus there trying to fall back with the Stalkers. The battery overcharge really helping. Dude, the battery overcharge. Healing up there. Clem says, oh, my old nemesis, I forgot about you, mate. Zealots run into his 3rd at the same time. And that was a fantastic hold for Trap. Trap, up 500 resources, the units lost. Honestly, that healing was huge. The Stalkers and the Colossus surviving there as long as they did. The battery overcharge helping them out. And Clem going, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have been committing to such a late tank push into that. Double Cyclone. The 2 units that were leftovers, guys. Think about it, man. The units that don't belong. You know what's funny? I was thinking, because you know Cyclones normally just don't have a function, but they actually were really useful there. This is like those 2 guys, the 2 best friends in the in-betweeners. Like this one's here, the one that's always talking about getting laid when he's clearly never felt the touch of a woman, and that's the really tall, lanky one. Essentially, that's leftover Cyclones are from now on going to be called the in-betweeners, guys. Fantastic series. $64 SCVs, 73 probes there. Colossus still dancing around. There's no sentry? Oh, there is. He makes a sentry. I love it. I was going to say one of the big problems a lot of players have is forgetting to make sentries in late game, right? Lambo was talking about that in his video about Protoss skill ceilings and gambling to win and that sort of stuff. And saying, you know, there's a lot of little details there to Protoss that it's very hard to actually execute correctly. And a lot of players fail to do consistently because you are managing a lot of different things. And there is actually quite a high skill ceiling for Protoss. Dark Templar coming in. Trap's really good at remembering these things, though. I feel like Trap's the one top Protoss who really takes stock of the situation and makes sure he has all the important pieces going. Look at this, guys. Dark Templar coming in, hitting the main, hitting the natural right now. One's in the 3rd as well. This is huge. He's got Colossus on the front as well. Guardian Shield goes down, but it's a bit preemptive. Clem does not take the fight. Dude, these DTs are ruining him right now. They're ruining him. Okay, he dealt with one with an EMP there in the natural. The main base in the 3rd, though, doing big damage. The in-betweeners both just got killed there by that Dark Templar. Marine Marauder drop gets trapped in the top. Oh, Trap using the distraction to maximum effect. And he even hides the Dark Templar in the main, realizing, look, Clem's attention's on it. We're going to wait. We'll go back in when Clem's distracted with the main army. Trap, with these delayed Dark Templar timings, finding a really nice weak spot for Clem. Now, to be fair, he already defended the push with the battery overcharge, so he was in a good spot. But it feels like these delayed Dark Templar timings are actually just really picking Clem apart today. And Trap using them so very well. Dark Templar's gone back in. Former SCVs forced him to pull to that base. Ghost tries to snipe, but he pulls out of vision of the turret. The Ghost and the Marine have to stutter step back away. Finally, that Dark Templar does get evaporated. Jay and Neil, that's their names. Thank you. It's been so long since I watched it, but I just could imagine both of their faces plastered on those 2 Cyclones. there's such a relatable show, right? Because there's so many shows where they do teenagers and it's just a bunch of 25-year-olds that don't act like teenagers. And you're like, this is so dumb. But then when there's like a super bad or an in-betweeners, you're just like, oh, this is exactly what being a 16-year-old is like. Bio started stepping back, EMP is landing, trying to get behind the minerals, Trap diving on top. This is an amazing engagement. Clem doesn't have anywhere to micro. Colossus go a little bit far forward though, but Clem does not have the numbers. And Trap getting a surprise 2-0. He destroyed Gumiho. Now he's 2-0'd Clem. Trap is on an absolute roll in today's tournament. Alright, guys. We got Byun on the top left side of the map. Trap on the top right side. And man, Trap is on a roll. It's the semifinals now. He's beaten a bunch of strong boys. A conch of strong boys, I was going to say. A conch? I don't know. It's like, you know, like Lord of the Flies, right? He gets the conch out and you're like, Protoss Warriors, assemble! I don't know exactly what's going on. I feel like Trap's playing solid, he's playing standard, but he's mixing some clever Dark Templar timings against Terran opponents. He's been good at scouting cheesy plays, and they're not getting away with any of their cheeky BS today. As I say that, Byun is clearly trying to engineering bay block, and he's dodged the probe. Oh, this might be one of the first times we see Trap with a bit of a harder start. He's scouting though. He's scouting. He's looking for it. He's been so good at checking for this, and he sees it pretty quickly. Didn't see the SCV coming in, and he's going to have to pull a fourth probe. If he sees it a bit earlier, he'll only go for 3. Sorry, guys. Sound was actually on there. There he goes. I wasn't about to say the Australian C word. I like that word. It's used good. No, I don't even... I think maybe I was hunch. And I've been doing a lot of... You know the thing when you have two words in your mind and you say a mix, you splice the words together? I've been doing a lot of word splicing lately. I don't know if there's a term for what that is. I'm going to call it word splicing, where you take part of one word and part of another and you combine them into a new word. It's very Shakespearean. He would invent a lot of language himself, you know? What I'm saying is I'm basically the Australian Shakespeare, guys. And you might be thinking, wow, delusions of grandeur much, Pig. No. Didn't he die of the Sith? I'm just saying, I'm going to die in an embarrassing and stupid way at an age younger than I should due to my own lack of responsibility and bad life choices. That's what I'm actually saying. Pretty sure he did die of the Sith, right? Was that Shakespeare or am I thinking of someone else? Adept is going to get chrono boosted here. The clap. Actually, no, clap is the chlamydia. That's a different one. Yeah, I think it was the syphilis that got him. At least that's what they think. Factory does come in there. Reactor on the way as well. Mr. Amadeus. Wolfgang died of the clap. Damn, dude, the old days. Being an incel was actually like plus 20% to life expectancy before like 1930 or whatever, when they figured out... Was it World War I when they figured out antibiotics? I think it was about 1920, 1930 when they figured out, just after World War I, antibiotics, when they got the penicillin train going. Reaper's going to bounce around there. We've got a Stalker and an Adept coming out. Reaper coming in, and... Ooh, okay, does back away. So this is interesting, guys. Robo first, you might think is usually for fast Colossus, and it used to be just lots of observers in Colossus. What it does these days is usually if it's hero playing, we'll see if Trap applies the same technique, is it's usually for a storm drop. So you get vision, you see what's going on. Did his Adept just die? No, his Adept's still at home. I think he just ran a probe up the ramp there, guys. So he sees that there's like... Did he see the command center? Yeah, he saw the command. So he runs up, loses that. There's a Widow Mine now coming forward, hoping to get an ambush. If it kills the Adept, it's not so bad. If it gets a Stalker, that's really rough. And you can see he does split his units up, so Trap's being nice and responsible there. And actually, you should see this if he's paying attention. Kind of hard to see it on the steps for us, but on low graphic settings, very easy to see that. Oh, he's going to get baited in. Nice. Widow Mines stand together. So far, it's just 2-gate. With the Robo. Quick third gas. Yeah, this does feel like we're going to see a Twilight Council any second now, and then him go for Templar Archives. Extra pylon goes down. 47 out of 62. It's a pretty early pylon. Interesting build order. Now, here comes that Widow Mine drop, guys. I don't know. I think Trap's seen it. He's going to hide his units, potentially. No, he goes forward. Does push that back nicely. Really good play. Now... Trap sees the Raven, second barracks, very standard play for Byun. Byun's going to play solid, straight up TVP here. 3 Stalkers, 4 of them on the edge. Remember, he doesn't have Blink, so when you play this build, you need to be in the right position because you don't have Blink. You can't punish these sort of moves. That Twilight Council is now on the way. There's an Immortal building as well. And he does need more probe production. You got to finish saturating those minerals, Trap. Trap's going to need one more pylon before going for the third Nexus. Otherwise, he will get supply blocked on 70. It's going to be a very delayed third for him, which is totally fine as long as you build up things like sentries, immortals, all those important tech units. Raven's going to come forward. A few Stalkers are nearby, and good choice by Byun to back out of that. With the Stalkers already on top of it, you're not going to get much damage, but if you keep the Raven alive, it can be more effective. And wait till you can drop a few of them at once, especially if there's a distraction going on. Nice scan going down. Casting any Zergs today, Pig? We're a little light on the Zerg games today. Sorry, I normally try to just get a mix of players, and I've been casting a lot of Byun today is the one thing I failed on. I thought you're pointing out that out. It's making me realize there's only a few Zerg games. We've got a couple of Dark series. We've already done one today. We'll do some more later, but for now, oh my gosh. Oh man, luckily Stim's not ready. Otherwise, this looks so scary for Protoss. But with Stim ready, there's actually like good control for him. And yeah, good starter set. I really like the way Trap's microing this. Oh my gosh, Trap! Oh my gosh, this makes me... Oh, he tried to mule block him! Byun just went for the 300 IQ mule block. Oh, Byun, always the guy to go for the flashy play if he thinks he can get away with it, but he doesn't quite pull it off. And he's got to watch out for the force fields. Those Marines are trapped in the wrong side, potentially. Oh, Guardian Shield's pretty good. The Zealot's getting on top. The Immortal's coming in. Immortal on the left side's going to flank in. That Immortal surviving on just one hit point. Oh, the Marine's going to drop on it. You know Byun can't keep it in his pants right now. The barrier came off cooldown. The barrier saves the Immortal. And Byun loses a few extra Marines. The medevac does get out of there. But dude, that Immortal truly living up to his namesake. 4 kills, 1 hit point in a dream. A frustrating Byun. Byun does get into the backside up here. He's got 3 auto turrets in the bank ready to spam in that main base. But if a feedback lands, that would be amazing. Dude, if he can get a High Templar here and feedback that Raven, ooh, all of that energy buildup would be worth nothing. 3rd command center building on location. 4th and 5th barracks go down. Byun going to plan B. Raven comes in, gets the 3 auto turrets down, but look at that. He just runs away, and that's absolutely the right call. Great play here. Really good play. And oh my gosh, he doesn't really lose anything. I think maybe 1 probe went down. So the Raven not finding damage. Trap is just playing such good StarCraft. And I love seeing these greats of yesteryear come back from the military and slowly just unravel their skills and start showing their abilities and just how bloody good they can be at StarCraft. Trap is going to find the drop coming in there. Remember, there's no blink. So you've got Storm coming in. 3 High Templar in the Prism. You'll have Storm soon. Going to make a High Templar in the main. Feedback on that medevac is going to do a lot of damage to it. But he's going to lose the High Templar. It's 150 gas. Medevac will go down, but at what cost? Stalkers are falling there. Ooh. I like the Zealot warp in to try and block him. And that Immortal does pop out. It's going to use it to clear the Marauder. 2 more probes fall down. Storms go down. Prism does die, though. Byun clicking with his important thing. He just killed a Prism with 2 High Templar inside it, guys. Yes, he ate a Storm, but he saved all the units before they died. Byun just dives in because he knows there's no blink. This is the sort of play you could only do, but he leaves it behind. You could only do the sort of snipe play he was doing there if there's no blink or Phoenix. He gets away with it, and then he just derps out on the return, leaves a full medevac in the open, and loses it to non-blink Stalkers. A huge mistake for Byun. He should be miles ahead. Remember, there's still a bit of Storm coming in here. 1 High Templar with Storm, another one that's close to getting Storm energy back here at 61 energy. He's actually going to morph him into Archons. Okay, so he's got 2 High Templar with Storms, and Byun, losing that extra medevac's a problem. He's not going to pre-split because his name's Byun. He's a crazy person. He just set off all 3 barriers. He just sacrificed 2 Marines to set off all 3 barriers with his shift click. Dude, Byun. What an amazing way to execute this fight. He's going to try and fight. There's still 1 more Storm. Trap being so patient. He's not pulling the trigger on that Storm. What a fight this is, dude. This is so sick because, you know, Byun, if he can get rid of the Storm, get rid of the Guardian Shield, he can blitz through these Immortals. Their barriers are going to be off cooldown for another 10 seconds. He's going to go for it. EMP's land. Archon's morphing. Archon trying to get picked up there. The Immortal goes down. This is looking like a good fight for Byun right here. Can he crush through? Because he's lost a lot of SCVs. He needs this good fight, and it looks like he gets it. The Archon trying to take out the SCVs. Those SCVs should stop chasing. 3 more SCVs go down there to the focus fire. Zealots coming in. That's a mistake for Trap. Unfortunate mistake. 1 Marine there for 4 Zealots. Bad trade for him. He killed 16 SCVs. That's really nice. Problem, Byun's still at 50, and now he has a massive, more than double army supply lead. and there's no energy recharge on this patch, mate. You got battery overcharge, but you got no storm, right? He's got 3 High Templar in this Prism. I don't think they have storm. Maybe they do, actually. Remember, he sent 1 or 2 High Templar back that were low on energy. If he has one good storm, could end Byun here. Byun's unit's heavily damaged. Byun right now trying to push in. He's got to watch out for the Psy Storms. He's pushing in a clump like a crazy person. Who runs into a clump like that? Byun! Byun! Dude, some people have chill in their play. Even just a little bit. Like, if there was like a stats sheet and we had to describe each player's chill, Byun in this game has 0.3% chill. Like, literally, keep it in your pants, buddy. He knew there was a prism. He had no idea what was inside. And Byun basically was like, yeah, hopefully you don't have any storms or at most one. And he just ate juicy storms. Trap waited for the right moment, waited till Byun overcommitted. And then Byun just ran right in and ate them up. 0 chill from Byun. And Trap finds himself defending a 4th base. 2nd Forge coming in. He's in a fantastic position now as his gateways transform. That's going to put him up on like 9 gateways. Yeah, what are the upgrades for Byun? Byun does have 1-1. He's building 2nd eBay Armory, 4th Command Center. So he's getting his production back in a good spot, but losing the drop earlier and then also trying to force his way in with heavily wounded Bio into Storms. Feels like Byun, you know, he's looking for these clutch kind of victories and he's not quite getting them. Those SCVs should not be fighting here. You do not want to fight with these SCVs. They should be move commanding. Took a bit too long to do that. Loses 10 workers, 11 unnecessarily. Still an okay trade for Byun. I don't think you mind this. Because, you know, you're still killing a lot of units. Units lost tab is still positive for you. It's just that the longer these sort of trades go, like Trap builds up more upgrades, more gas units, Immortals, Archons, High Templar, eventually Colossus or Disruptor Transition, maybe Dark Templar. And Byun keeps losing SCVs, which the longer the game goes, every SCV loss compounds in terms of how much damage that effectively did to you. Now that's a good move. Does accidentally move back through the storm. I think he thought it was about to finish. Loses 3 Marines for a High Templar. Still a very good trade for Byun. Mine's coming forward. There's a few Zealots on the south. Nice feedback on the Ghosts. Trap and Estrella might be the best feedback users against Terran in the entire world. I don't know if anyone uses feedback as well as these guys do. Storm, another storm, watch out! Another storm comes in! Clips the Metavacs and the edge of the bio. You just pull back and heal, Byun. Just pull back and heal. Because if there's no more storms. Trap might be chasing a little bit too far ahead, actually. He brings back the Zealots that were meant to be counterattacking as well. And you know what? Byun continues to trade effectively. Almost 2,000 unit resources ahead in the units lost tab. 2nd Robo Bay on the way though for Trap. Trap thinking about a 5th base maybe in the near future. He's up 14 workers right now. Energy recharge so good with this style. He does not have it, but he's got the battery overcharge to fall back on. He'll be back in 20 seconds. It's not there right now. 3 batteries though. Pushing in here is kind of crazy. EMP on the High Templar, not bad. Prism, where is the Prism, guys? He's sending the Prism across for a storm drop. Crazy person. Trap, what are we doing, mate? Don't be abandoning yourself with no splash damage. I mean, Immortal Archon with battery overcharge coming back on cooldown can hold the line, but it's actually a Zealot drop. Where is... Did he just stop? He just stopped building High Templar. I guess the Ghost EMPs have been too good. He's given up on High Templar. Trap said, screw it. I'm going to counterattack with Zealots. And Warp In would not have been effective there, so good call not to do so. 2nd Robo and Robo Bay are up. Colossus are now starting. 1 Colossus, 2 Colossus. We're going to go for the Viags. Doesn't have the gas right now. He's on 5 gas, probably needs a 6th gas if he wants to keep this production up. We also just saw the Warp Prism recall, guys. So it was getting chased to the corner, but Byun scanned it, so he's bringing his whole army back to the front. Byun has a 4th base up. He's up in supply now, and I got to feel like Byun now is in a very good position when 2-2 finishes. I mean, the Colossus will get here in time. Oh, feels like Trap's got to be really wary till those Colossus arrive. Planetary does defend the Zealot on that side. Scans taking out the map vision. Trap's blind. Trap's map vision is being pushed into a corner. He does not see much of what's going on. There's no extended thermal lance. The Colossus coming out without range. And Trap now dealing with a very scary Terran army. EMPs across the Archons. The Guardian Shield helping out a little bit. Colossus above the army. Vikings trying to take out the Prism. The battery overcharge being powered by the Warp Prism, which is healing the Prism. The Prism refusing to die there. 1 Colossus does die on the flanking force. What a sick game this is, dude. That repower on the battery and then the Vikings shooting the Prism while the battery healed it was amazing. Really good save there by Trap on the battery overcharge. Nothing worse than have a battery overcharge activate and then have it immediately depowered. Really well done. Whew. Okay, we got a 5th Nexus down the bottom. +3 attackers there. +2 armor as well. 8 barracks coming up, though, for Byun. But did Byun go for 3-3? He did not. He's going to start +3 attack. If he can squeeze +3 attack upgrade in, be nice. Byun might feel like the game's probably going to be decided by the next battle, and so he kind of is like, no, just build army for now. I think 3 barracks might have been a bit ahead of himself. He's very high on gas as well. He's Byun. He's been using so many scans to clear observers, which does cost him 3-2 on the way for Trap. It's been down 2-1 versus 2-2 in the last 2 fights, but for now, I'm not sure who I'd favor in this scenario. It seems like a very even game. That being said, I mean, Byun, he starts 3-3. He's got a second starport. He doesn't have a 5th command center, though. And it feels like we're 15 minutes in. The bases are mining out. Like, if Byun can't get a 5th base, I think the 5th base for Trap really helps him. On the other hand, the 6th base is very exposed for Protoss. Don't move the observer into the scan. A bit of a mistake there for Trap. So observers aren't giving him much. Does have a prism there. He never got extended thermal lance, guys. He's got 2 Colossus, no range. Those are 7-range Colossus. They aren't very useful units. Stalkers need to get those Vikings. Those Vikings are very easy targets, but Trap letting himself get scared away here. Could have grabbed himself maybe a Ghost and a Viking there would have been good. Disruptors building. 3-2. 3/4 of the way done. 3-3 for Terran. On the other hand, only 1/4. 25% of the way done. Ship weapon starting. Probably thinking about lib range, but I really think 5th command center is way more important right now. And he's actually just going to build a command center down here? Where is he building that from, though? Sent an SCV from very far away. This is a bad habit Byun's built for himself recently, where he just grabs an SCV from, like, the furthest possible position to build a command center when there's already SCVs right next to it that he could have used. Bio Ghost coming forward to the Vikings. EMP lands only on a few Stalkers. Not the most useful, but there's plenty of Ghosts now, so don't have to be too worried. Remember, this maxed army is weaker for Terran now. Ghosts are 3 supplies. A flanking Storm lands a decent hit. Bruises some Marauders. Another Storm comes in, bruising a few more of them. Colossus, Immortals. There's 4 Immortals in there. Stalker, Zealot, Colossus coming in. Disruptors from the north as well. Storms landing on the Vikings. The Colossus do go down to the Vikings and his own Side Storm, but the Stalker's going to take out every single Viking, which means the Colossus rebuild is very tempting. Zealot counterattack finds that 5th base, but he does F2 at home a little bit. Trap's got to be careful with his control groups here. You could tell he F2'd to defend this push to make sure he brought in all of his Disruptors and High Templar that he'd scattered around the map for ambushes. Zealot does take out 2 SCVs, gets cleaned up. Units lost tab right now, 4,000 in favor of Byun. He's been playing more efficiently, but Trap has had more of the map, and he's got more money, and that's part of why he's been able to play a little less efficiently as Protoss normally does versus Terran. It's because the Terran is not expanding and leaving themselves as open to harassment or attack opportunities. Disruptor lands on a Marauder, takes it out. Another one completely gets dodged there as a Storm zones the Marines and Marauders. He's got another Storm, though. Decent Storms going down on that as he takes out 20 SCVs. Dude, these Immortals taking out so much. Recalls, only loses one of the Immortals. Another Immortal will get tagged and taken down by the Marauders as well. Zealot Stalker's going to back away. Another Immortal rallies in. Dude, he's massing Immortal. Now, remember, this is the old Immortal. It doesn't have the 10% attack speed reduction. It's 275 minerals. It's pretty pricey. This High Templar is going to try and defend the counterattack single-handedly. 2 feedbacks, pops 2 Ghosts, lands a juicy Storm. That High Templar just goes full Chad mode, engaged, and wrecks that army. But unfortunately, traps Colossus. Remember, they still don't have range, and his Colossus walks to its death. Byun might just have too much. He's up 50 supply in the army, and it does look like Byun may just have him now, dead to rights. He's coming in with a big bio army. Unless there's a big Storm or 2, it feels very hard for Trap to defend. That being said, Byun has been eating Storms all day. Some dogs hate getting into the bath, but Byun's puppy loves to get clean, apparently, because right now we are watching Byun hop headfirst into a stormy shower repeatedly, and another one lands. Damn, he's losing so many units to these Storms. Byun just overcommitted way too hard there. There was a fight in the top at the same time. I think he caught a Warp Prism or something, but I mean, it just means too much of his army is wounded here. He bled out so many units. He's still ahead, 5,000 resources in the units lost. Byun does deny the 5th base of Trap, but he needs to hold the position in the middle. Otherwise, it's going to be bad. If he can get rid of the Immortals, this could be big. This could be a big opportunity. Oh, Trap losing so many high-value units. High Templar and Immortals going down, but the Archon comes forward. Stalkers and Colossus from the north. Trap turns and says, you think you're the hunter, you are the hunted. Remember, those Colossus do not have extended thermal lance. The Immortal gets saved by the Warp Prism, a beautiful pickup. The Vikings all just died, landed on the ground, which means there's no answer to the Prism, there's no answer to the Colossus. Trap with that beautiful Prism micro right now, and he is displaying, remember what I said, a balanced approach. He's never completely crazy all in like Hero. He's never completely totally like a Showtime. He is such a balanced player. He's the whole package. This is what I love about watching Traps play, is he's good at doing everything. He's moving in, he's moving out. He's doing clutch micro when it's needed. He's taking these fights that are on a knife's edge, so hard to judge, and he's judging them just perfectly. Byun cannot hang on. Trap manages to evict him from the 5th base. And even though his own 5th base is only just now rebuilding, I think that's huge because he gets all the mules. He's going to kill the command center. This is the main base. That's the main base that lifted down. And Byun is out of money. The units lost tab now very close to even, which tells us the last few minutes have been incredibly positive for Trap. The trail of robo tears, says Twitch chat. We've definitely seen a few robo rallies in this game. Did not go Trap's way as they were fighting a lot in that middle side. Widowmine does go down. Arc of Colossus Immortal coming forward as well. The command center is exposed. He just doesn't have much to defend it. I mean, the turret's a bit hard to attack into. The Colossus, you can't move in range of that. And I think Trap doesn't really feel a need to push because he's got his own 6th base coming up. 5th base still healthy against a guy who's stuck on his initial... What has he got? His 3rd base and 4th base mining, and you're going to base 6? Like, yeah. This is massive advantage for Trap. Whoo! Byun has more medevacs than Marines right now. You're not wrong, guys. 13 Marauders, 4 Marines, 3 Ghosts, 12 medevacs. I would like to see them get repaired, but right now Byun can't spare the cash for a unit that is just a bonus. Yeah, Byun, I think, ate too many Storms this game. I think he chased into Storm a few too many times, and we really saw Trap with such good usage of High Templar spread around the map. I love seeing this playstyle, and Hero's been doing it for a while, but I love to see Trap's take on it, because Hero often turns it into like a Storm charge all-in or 55, 60 probes, sometimes only 48 probes, you know, whereas 3rd base doesn't have a single worker on it, whereas Trap just did this as a proper macro play. All right, Zealot finds that rally as the natural now lifts down to the new 4th or 5th base for Byun. Plasma Shields +2s coming in for Trap. Zealot gets a few SCVs, does lure the units around. I think Zealot's hitting the natural in the main would be a disaster for Byun to deal with, because supply-wise, it's going to be an issue. Now, Trap does need to trade now, while the army supplies are similar. Like, he's actually ahead in army supply, but he's got 45 more workers, so he wants to trade sooner rather than later. Stalker Archons taking out those Vikings. Colossus trying to get forward. High Templar with the flanking Storms! He comes in, he gets 2 High Templar out. Big Storm on the medevacs, a little bit on the bio as well. The High Templar do go down. All the Vikings are gone. They already cleared the Colossus, but can you really get out of here? And this bottom side, those Marauders are just getting overwhelmed and overrun, and Trap is on an absolute tear right now in this tournament. Takes game 1 against Byun. Alright guys, these games are getting absolutely wild. Trap playing rock solid PvT and meeting very little resistance. I mean, he's meeting resistance, but he's not losing maps, right? He's cutting through the Terrans like a hot knife through butter. Top left now is Site Delta, Byun in the bottom right. So it's interesting, we were just chatting before the game about different abilities and how we should make the Ultralisk abductable again. And then someone was saying, oh, I thought it was kind of like neural. And I was like, oh, no. Neural on Ultras would be insane. So I just made this statement. And then I started casting this game. And my whole chat is like, what? What's different about that versus Thor's? The Ultra's a melee unit, that's all. I mean, it's already insane versus Thor's. Like, the Neural Parasite destroys Thor's so hard already. It's crazy, right? How good it is if you get the right fight. The thing is, because Thor's got 7 range, you can usually guard it with tanks, or snipes, or EMPs, or liberators, something that's just going to blast those infestors and break the Neurals. Now, if you're playing Ultras in ZVZ, with melee units, they're going to run in front. It's so easy to Neural them, right? You don't need to put your infestors in any harm's way. So that's kind of the whole difference there, where, don't get me wrong, you could argue that's fine, you know, whatever, but like, essentially any melee unit, they're going to be way easier to target, right? It's hard to neural Colossus and Disruptors. You very rarely get them. But you very regularly will neural Immortals and Archons, because Archons especially, Archons only have 3 range. So Archons are already one of the most vulnerable units to neural, because they have to come so far forward. An Immortal with 6 range, reasonably vulnerable. And you got like Disruptors and Colossus with 9+ range that are way further back, very hard to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves Site Delta, and as I told you recently, Byun is not doing the Site Delta build. He's not doing the 3 command center build, which is good. It's good to see him mixing it up. Trap doing a very standard opening, going to chrono and adept out and start heading forwards on the map. I like how Pig didn't question that I play Ultras in ZVZ in the first place. He just rolled with it. Ultras are an amazing unit. So basically what you find in strategy games is no one actually understands strategy, and every single person who plays any game is looking for shortcuts to get good, Riku. rather than actually understand the game. Now, the problem with that is that they will say things like, Ultras are bad. Ultras are bad in ZVZ. And they'll never have played it. They'll have never played. They'll played against it once or twice. They'll maybe tried it one game and they'll go, well, I don't see pros do it, therefore it must be bad. And usually they're completely wrong. And this is why you'll sometimes see me be very slow at learning things when I'm picking up a new game. Because sometimes I just straight up refuse to listen to what the consensus is from the top players or the community. People say, this is bad, that's good. You have to do this, you have to do that. Which, in my mind, a good strategy game, pretty much never you have to do just one thing in each matchup. There's often something that's powerful for a certain reason. When people speak in absolutes and they're just wrong, right? They basically don't know what they're talking about. What they really mean is, this thing's good. This is a good strategy, but they'll say it like, this is the only thing you can do, everything else is non-viable. And they'll have never actually tested it themselves or thought about the why. They'll just have heard it from a source of authority and they'll repeat it. And this is the thing you run into in strategy games. People just repeat what they think is they've heard from someone better than them, and then they all just repeat it and everyone goes in a circle doing it. And if you actually logically figure out a way to play Ultras, you'd be amazed how good they are in ZVZ. Now, it's hard to get there. It's Hive Tech. Oh, Byun, are you serious? Get out of here. Bro, don't take multiple Stalker shots. Okay, good pullback. I love this Estrella move. The hallucination tracking is amazing. But remember, this is old patch. You can't keep doing that. You don't have the energy abilities. So you can't track it permanently. But Byun playing way too aggressive here. Oh my gosh, he's so crazy. He's refusing to let himself get bullied into a defensive position. Widowmine's going to trade for an Adept. Stalker will hunt that down. Oh, finally gets it. Oh, but he loses the meta. I can't believe he continued to go in there. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, guys. He knew he was spotted. All he needed to do was get in the pocket, somewhere in a bit of dead space where he could threaten, especially if he's down here somewhere, and then Trap is forced to stay defensive, but continuing to dive there. I get he saw a few units out of position, but you know Trap can recall at any moment. He didn't even have to recall because he just warped in at that point. That was unnecessarily risky and silly behavior from Byun. And the big problem is now Trap is going to be more focused on scouting, which means there's more chance of him finding the Cloaked Banshee. And if he spots the Cloaked Banshee, shuts him down, that could be massive. And there's no battery on the natural, none in the main, which means if you get in with Cloak and him not realizing it, then you're screwed. But look at this. Sentries get... Oh, the hallucination sees it. Did Trap spot it? Did he notice? Let's go to his vision. Immediately builds a battery. He's going to build, yeah, a battery observer. Oh, he's all over it, guys. He's chronoing. He's putting stalkers in both base. He's got an observer building there with chrono. Banshee comes in. He's so ready for it. Like, yeah, you lose a couple probes. The stalkers are already there. And the observer's there. He's got 2 stalkers in the main. The observer's out. He gets it. First Banshee goes down. Where's the second one? Coming through the map right now. But this is massive. Trap has shut down his hallucinations getting. He might, if he was busy defending, that hallucination might not have come in so early, guys. Also, let's be real. Byun's building placement sucked. If you're going Cloaked Banshees, you don't want your buildings this far forward. I think he was trying to build a forward wall off in case there was 4-gate blink, but 4-gate blink is terrible on this map. It's like already awkward as hell blinking up these ledge. You can't blink there at all. You only have one access point. I don't think there was any reason for Byun to build his building so far forward. If his Tech Lab starport was just a little further back, I think it would have been much better. But you know what? You live, you learn. We've all made this mistake before, but I think seeing the consequences of it has revealed the weaknesses in it, right? It's like, man, if that starport wasn't here, but was back over here or something, it'd be much better. Chat says, I miss Site Delta already. Site Delta's a great map. I wouldn't mind it being in the new pool. I'd love to see more Site Delta. I think Site Delta would be my favorite map. Site Delta is the best map in the current map pool. Oceanborn's the second best, and the rest are absolute garbage. Not absolute, they're bad. They were fun for a while, but I think at the end of the day, we've realized they're way too Terran favored. At least in TVZ. Not too sure about TVP, but not a big fan of where the other maps ended up. Are you crazy? Oh my gosh, Trap! Trap going Chad gamer mode, guys. He's gonna blink again. He's gonna blink again. He gets another Marauder. Okay, he's gonna get a medevac. Almost. Not quite. Oh, but the flank. Uh-oh. Trap's getting a little bit fancy. Byun's ready for him. Byun's like, blink into my grasp. But he blinks down here and then recalls. And Byun rage quits. Oh, that was a smooth way to make someone rage, guys. Can we just watch that last little bit again? Not only did he shut down the drop, not only did he shut down the Banshee with the hallucination scouting, but then he sees the army move out of position and he's like, hey, wait a second. dodges the army, says, oh, thanks for the free Marauder, bro. Grabs 2 free Marauders, 2 SCVs, gets himself another Marauder, almost gets a medevac, gets another Marine, gets another Marauder here, and then he recalls, and he's only going to lose one of the Stalkers, and Byun's like, nope, I'm out, son. I am out. GG, well played. Trap wins 2-0 and continues his ridiculous run in this tournament. What a sick series of plays. GG, well done.